everyone, it's craftytinas. In today's video, I want to show you how to make something that isn't a paper craft for a change. We have been making all kinds of paper crafts lately, and I needed something to store one of my tools for paper crafting. So I decided to grab some felt in the brightest color I could find so it'd be easy to locate and make a multi-pocket pouch. Now this little pouch has 3 pockets on the inside, has a strap that is attached for the outside, but it also has a pocket on the back. And I'm going to show you why I made this cute little pouch. However, this pouch can be made for anything you choose. You will just change the size based on what you put inside. And I'm going to show you how you can make anything into a multi-pocketed pouch with whatever item you're wanting to put in it. Now, I am using a hot glue gun and felt. This can be used with any kind of fabric that doesn't fray. That means not quilting cotton so that the little strings come out when you don't sew it. But you could use leather, although keep in mind it would be thicker. You can also use fun fur. You can use there's an oily fun fabric. It's super thin. I wanted something that was going to keep my items from scratching, and I chose to use felt because I have so much of it from a machine embroidering. So you're going to need felt ribbon wide enough to hold a snap or velcro, but you're going to want a fabricy type ribbon, not that little nylon that you use for like gift wrapping, because you need it to be able to absorb and hold using hot glue. If you're making this by sewing it, and you certainly can, then you don't have to worry about the thickness. You just have to make sure it's a ribbon that you can sew. So felt, 1.5 sheets. These are just the craft felt you can get at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, pretty much anywhere that sells crafting supplies sells felt. You need 1.5 sheets. For the ribbon, it just needs to be long enough to wrap all the way around your pouch and have some that goes over to secure your little snaps. And I am going to show you how to use KamSnaps. Now, KamSnaps are these little plastic snaps that you use very, very easily. I love these little guys. You basically take 4 little plastic pieces and turn it into 2 snaps, the male and female version. If you double the ribbon and put these KamSnaps, they are not coming off. I chose to do the ribbon instead of directly to the felt because felt is cheap and over time can pull apart from these little snaps. It does take a long time though, but I liked the look of the ribbon. I happen to have ribbon in the same color as the felt. It worked out great. So I'm going to show you how to use a KamSnap to put on your ribbon. I'm going to show you how to measure in order to get the right size pouch for whatever you're putting inside. We're only using hot glue, felt, ribbon, and a snap. So what am I putting into this lovely little pocket? And that is my templates. These are the templates that hubby made for my shadow boxes. Now I have a shadow box punch board that makes the 1/2 inch. So hubby made me templates to make the 3/4 and the 1 inch. I love my shadow boxes, but these are plastic. They're acrylic and they slide all over the place. So if you're a quilter, you also understand that your little templates just have a tendency to get kind of carried away. So what I did was I made this pouch so that my templates had a home. So there's the 1 inch, the 3/4 inch, the little 1/2 inch goes on one side of the last pocket, and my little L square to line everything up goes on the other side of the bottom pocket. They're now in here perfectly organized, safe from dust, safe from fingerprints. And I wish I'd have made this a little longer, but if I had made it longer, I would have had to use more felt, a different size felt. I could have not went as far up with the glue on the bottom and could have got a little bit more, but it closes, so I'm happy with it. I could go back, add another piece of felt to my top flap, and then it wouldn't be so thin. Everything's nice and thick except the little flap. If you go back and add a larger piece to hang down further, you can even do this after it's made, just add it to it and have it come down further. This would be sturdier and it would be longer. So that is an option. And just like that, I have this cute pouch that can go on a shelf, standing up on a shelf, and it can even go in a drawer or tote. So this is how I am storing my shadow box templates, but this video will show you how to make a pouch for pretty much anything such as that you want to store. So let's get started. Very simple, very basic felt craft. I've already cut one piece in half, so I'm going to put that piece to the side. And I noticed that my two pieces that are the exact same color are not the exact same size. So felt is supposed to be a 9x12, but it's gonna vary which store you got it from. Apparently I got these two from two different places. They just look so much alike. So what I'm gonna do, because I need the base and pocket number 4 to be the same width, I'm gonna use this for 1 and 4, and I'm gonna use this for 2 and 3. And I do have them written down here for you, so you don't have to remember that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our felt in half. We're just going to line up side to side. And we're going to get it as straight as we can. But this is one of those crafts where if you can't cut straight, like me, it's the perfect craft for you. Now I did go break my fabric scissors out of the drawer so I could use them for the felt and the ribbon. I don't use my fabric scissors for anything but fabric, so I do hide them, and that's including from myself because I'm really bad at just grab a pair of scissors. I really like these. They're spring-loaded. They're Fiskars. They're super old. Got them at Joann's a long, long time ago. It doesn't say exactly which style this is. I really wish they would have put like their model or style just so we could go back and look should I need another pair. I've had them for years and cut numerous fabrics, so I think we're good. You're going to hold this down and you're going to pull with the scissors, put some tension to the outside, and you're going to cut. And just like that, we have our two pieces. We're going to start with piece number 1, which is pocket number 1. This is a 9x6 because we just cut this in half. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is slightly over 9, maybe a quarter of an inch, but that's going to give me a quarter of an inch bigger for my flap. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take whatever you're going to put in the back pocket. And mine's clear, so sorry about that, guys. What's in the back pocket is going to determine, actually, the back is solid. That is my solid piece. Sorry, I made this a few days ago and I meant to write down the instructions for me to remember how I made the pocket. This is the back. As you can see, it's slightly bigger. Let me move this up. I want you to be able to see the whole thing. It is slightly bigger, which is a good thing because I wanted a little bit more. The next thing I'm going to do is determine the front of the back pocket. And for me, that was 4.5 by 6 because I wanted it from here to here. This is the bottom. This is the top. My piece goes behind that pocket, but I wanted the size of my template to show and enough room to grab it. So I made it down slightly from this template, about an inch. And I did that with each of them, except the bottom one here, I did a little bit more. The little bitty one, the little 1/2 inch, fits almost all the way in there, which I'm good with. I don't use him as much because I have the punch board, but I use my 3/4 a lot. If you've seen my videos, you've seen a lot. And now I can see each of these templates, and I have a place to put the little L square. It fits around the little template. So now I'm wanting to put this pocket in, which is 4.5 by 6. So I'm going to take my piece of felt and a ruler. And we're going to go ahead and cut pocket. Pocket 1 is the background. It has a front pocket here, but we're going to call it pockets 1, 2, 3. Background 1, I'm sorry. Pocket 2 is the front of your first item. So this pocket and this pocket needs to be cut into a size. 9 by 6 is the back. 4.5 by 6 is what we're cutting now. And we also need a 3.5 by 6. And then the final pocket is a 9 by 6 because it is wrapped around. So let's go ahead and cut our 2 pockets out of this piece. And again, we're not going for perfection. We're just going to go to 4.5. And I like to fold my fabric over and put my cut mark there. And because these are good scissors, we're also going to put the 4.5 mark on the folded side. And now I can just go from cut line to cut line. I didn't have to make a mark. I didn't have to write on my felt or do anything. So this pocket is now the pocket for the first item. And I am going to show you how to modify this, so just bear with me for a second. The next pocket is a 3.5 by 6. So we're going to do the same process where we're going to measure to get to 3.5. And make sure that your 6 is here because you're going to need that to go across. So we're going to go to 3.5. We're going to flip it over. And we're going to go 3.5. We're going to fold it in half. And we're going to go 3.5 on the fold. And now we can go from cut line to cut line and be pretty sure that it's 3.5. And like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. See, I missed a little piece here, so I'm going to cut that off. And all you're wasting on this entire thing is this little piece. If you wish to use Velcro, you can hot glue this piece here, turn this up, and put Velcro there, and you have a strap. Not using ribbon, but using the felt you just used. Just hot glue this, the entire thing, on your flap. Fold this over to give it some stability, and put your hot glue your Velcro right there. I think if you doubled the felt and used the Kamsnap, you would be fine. I just didn't want it to pull through, and I like putting these on ribbon for some reason. So remember, you can use 1.5 pieces of felt and make this entire thing with no scraps left over. So now let's go back to making. Whenever you want to make a pocket, you simply take the largest item to make the biggest pocket, put it on your felt. You need to have 1/4 to 1/2 inch on 3 sides. This is going to hold your pocket in using hot glue. We don't want to bring our hot glue too far in because then this is not going to fit. And as you can see, this piece of felt cut in half is actually shorter than this piece. So it's a good thing we had a little bit of extra room when I made this one. Otherwise, this piece of felt would not have fit. Felt supposed to come 9 by 12, but as you can see, it's a little off. And you can even see, even though I didn't cut these ends, you can even see this end is off. And that is because it's fibrous and it's going to pull and shift. I don't mind it being crooked. This is for me, but if you're making this for a gift, you may want to trim up your felt to make it nice and square. So the first pocket, and I'm going to use not the end I cut because it's not straight. I'm going to use the straight end that was already there. And I'm going to glue this pocket, carefully staying on the edge, but getting a good secure piece. I'm going to glue it on all 3 sides. So we're going to remove the template. And hot glue dries very fast, and I want it to be nice and secure. I also do not want to go above where this is starting, right here. I want to start here, and I want to give it a full bead of hot glue. I don't want to flatten it or scrape it where I don't get enough glue. And then I want to press really hard to the point you see the felt sink into the glue. You kind of have a glue line, almost like you were sewing. You have a little stitch line, you want a glue line. So I am pressing it really hard into that felt. Felt is made of acrylic, so the heat will actually melt it slightly. So it's going to be secure. Now I want to do my bottom piece, and you do this all 3 pieces, one at a time. So take the hot glue. I'm still using my hot glue pen instead of a regular hot glue because I like the small bead of hot glue it gives out. It doesn't like put big amounts that's going to squish out the other side or squish out the edges. To me, it seems to do the right amount of hot glue. Now that we have that all squished in, we make sure that it's all secure, there's no holes. And now we're going to do side number 3. I only want to go to here, so I start here and then work my way back with a full bead of hot glue. And then I want to press it just like I did the others. Be mindful of the heat. You don't want any burnt fingers. And now I have my first pocket. If you only needed one pocket, that's all you need to make. I wanted multiple pockets. So one thing I am going to do though is I am going to trim up how off. I have just a little bit of felt sticking out. So I'm going to trim that up. I'm not cutting into my hot glue. I'm not compromising that. It was just little stragglers that was bothering me. So now I have pocket number 1. I need to go to pocket number 2. And again, I'm going to make sure I use their cut edge, not mine. And I'm going to place it on here just like before. If you're going to the next item and you don't know how big you need your pocket to be, just simply lay your item on the next pocket, leaving your little glue line, and you can make your pocket however high or low you want based on what you're putting in there. You can just build this as you go based on what you want to put inside. So now we're going to add this pocket, and we're going to do the same process. We are going to put hot glue over here starting at the top, and you're going to go along the hot glue that you can see because you pressed into the felt. You can see that hot glue line, and you're going to go straight down that hot glue line. And you're going to go to the bottom, and you're going to glue across that hot glue line as well. Just pulling your fabric a little firm, not too much, just a little, just to get it nice and straight. I'm going to press that in really good. Press it into it doesn't feel warm anymore, because once it's not warm, you're not doing anything, it's done. And now we're going to go to the final side. I'm going to reload some more hot glue in here. Because they are mini strips, I know you guys see me load this every video. They're mini strips, so they're going to go a little bit faster than you're used to. But the mini strips are super cheap. So that's one advantage. Oh, did you guys see what I just did? Talking and not paying attention. I put hot glue here. I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to let it dry on top and then I'll pull it off. But I glued here, which is something you're not supposed to do. I was supposed to start my hot glue here so I knew when I was done. But because I started back here and I was talking, which is typical for me, I went all the way here. So make sure you don't do that or you'll have this little strip of glue. Don't touch it, don't press it, don't try to take it off. Wait till it dries, and then you'll be able to slightly peel it off carefully. So we're going to leave it there because we need to let it dry. Now we're down to the final pocket. Now the final pocket isn't a little piece, although you can just add a small piece to the bottom and be done. What I did was I made this pocket with the final piece, and I had it wrap around the entire thing and create a pocket in the back. I did that mostly for other people because we have a template for our shadow boxes. Some people don't have this bound or in a binder. They can now take their actual spreadsheet, and this is on my Facebook page if you want to make these shadow boxes. I also show you how to make templates out of cardstock and other items. You can put this in the pocket in the back. Actually, I was going to put it in this way. Nope, it goes this way. But you can print this on cardstock if you want, and then fold it up and put it in the back of your pocket so that you have your instructions with you with your templates. That is why I put that pocket back there. It wasn't for me. I keep mine bound in a notebook, but you can put yours anywhere you want. It's just if you wanted to keep them with your templates, that is an option. So now this piece does not get cut into the small pocket. This piece gets wrapped. We're going to put the pocket here, and then we're going to wrap it around the back. But I don't want to go any higher than my actual pouch is going to be. So I'm going to put this back in here, and I'm still mindful of the hot glue because I didn't mash it down. It's still there. In fact, let me dry it. There we go, it's dry now. Now that it's dry, I can cut it with my fingernail up here so that it's not attached anymore. And then I can remove it because I didn't mash it down. Had I mashed it down, this never would have come off. And it is on there, guys. So I'm going to have to get a little knife later and deal with that. So let's put this in here. And remember, I don't edit my videos on purpose. I wanted you guys to see that mistake. So as you're making it, you're going to remember my mistake. You're going to laugh at me, but you're going to remember not to do that so that it doesn't make a problem for you. So put the biggest piece in the back. Go ahead and put it in your pocket. Fold it over. See how much more this comes over than this one? So I'm actually going to have more room down here that I wanted. It's a little smaller this way, but it still fits very nicely. So I'm going to fold this over, not tight, just smooth. And I'm going to place this on the top of that last piece. And that is where I want that piece to be so that I have the pocket on the back, which means this piece is my third pocket. And because this felt was a little bit longer, and I liked it that way so I could have more flap, I have more down here than I actually want. So I am going to take and put everything inside. I'm going to add these two, just like I'm going to have them in my pocket. I'm going to fold this up and see if that's where I want it. I think I'm going to leave it even though it's not even, because even though this goes all the way in, it gives more length for my little L. And this is still going to come here. I still have, and it will give me more for the flap. So I'm actually going to leave mine even though they're not evenly spaced. I'm okay with that. That might cause you grief. If it does, simply cut a small piece off the top so that your pockets are even like these are. I'm going to leave mine so that I have more overlap for my flap. So now I'm going to carefully remove everything, not moving my pouch. Now I am going to hot glue across the inside of the bottom, and then I'm going to hot glue across the top for this piece here. And I'm going to do it one at a time. And I'm not going to talk while I hot glue, so I make sure I go to the right place. And if you guys heard that I am not going to talk and you actually believed that, you are not familiar with my YouTubes. So I'm going to simply put it underneath. And I'm going to press down really well. See, still tacked, still hot glued. Okay, now I have it pressed down really well. You can see the little line on the bottom. Now I'm going to fold this one up. I'm going to hot glue across the bottom again. You don't have to hot glue at this point across the bottom. Because it's wrapped around, it does create the pocket already. But I like the look. It looks like it's been sewn without stitches because you have the indent there. And the indent along the bottom will match the indent along the sides. So now I have that nice and firm. I'm going to glue up my sides. Now, here's where I messed up before, so we're not going to do that again. We're going to start at the top and work our way down the line, making sure we go all the way to the top but not come out. And that will prevent the mistake we made, the mistake I made. You guys are not going to make it because I made it for you. Now you're going to flip this around. And as you can see, remember, these little pockets weren't as wide. So I'm still going to glue this in the glue line, and then I'm going to trim this up a little bit. And I'll pull it up to the camera so you can see. Again, I almost started in the back because it's habit. I'm going to start here, go along my glue line, press this down really good. Get that little seam going. It works really well when you just dig it in with your fingers. This is never going to come apart. This hot glue binds really well. So now this side and this side, so I'm flipping it to the back. These two sides have to be done. So this time, I'm going to glue the pocket itself and turn it over. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to go from here to here like normal. I didn't want to risk the glue drying too fast when I flipped it over. So you're going to really dig into that hot glue, making sure it's secure, making sure it's really tucked into that felt. And then you can see the line. You can actually see the glue line, which is great because it looks like a stitched line. And now I'm going to come over here. Now this piece, because the felt is felt, it is shifted off. It is actually a little bigger now than the front. Go over to the front and stretch it. It's felt. It's going to move and bend and stretch, and now it fits perfectly. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start here. I'm going to go along the glue line. And I'm going to press this down. Get it in there so you can have your little stitch line without stitches. You can do the same thing on your sewing machine if you don't want to use hot glue. You can simply start with the first pocket, clamp it, sew it, go to the next pocket, clamp it, sew it, and then do the final pocket. Just remember, if you're using felt, know your machine and know that you can sew through 5 layers of felt is being stitched. So know your machine, know which needle you're using. I can do that on my sewing machine. I don't like to do that. It scares me because of breaking needles. So now I have my pouch with only one mistake. And we will remedy that mistake. I'm going to get an X-Acto knife and cut that off later. Okay, now we need to add the ribbon. In order to know what size ribbon we need to use, I need to put everything back. So we're going to put my first piece back. This is also tucking in these sharp edges on these templates, so that's a great thing. I'm going to put my second one in. We're going to put the 1/2 inch in, and now we're going to put the little L-shaped square in. And they all fit perfectly in there, and my little flap closes. So now I am ready to do my ribbon. My ribbon needs to start in the front, but it needs to be doubled where I'm going to put my cam snap. I'm only going to fold over about 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to hot glue 3 sides I am not going to hot glue the center because I don't want to have to put this thing to go through the hot glue. So just with my fingers, I'm going to fold it. And then I'm going to hot glue the sides, the top, and the side again. Very small piece of hot glue too. And then I'm going to mash this down. So I don't even have like a pointer or anything. Oh, there's always a bone folder around when you need one. I did hot glue on this side, across the bottom, and up the other side. So this is nice and secure, but there's no hot glue in the center for when I put my snap on. So here's where my snap is going to go. The only thing I glued on my ribbon was this, and I didn't glue the first part. You need that flexible. So I glued here and all the way down to the bottom. So I need this to be flexible. So I need to glue from here down. I'm just going to take out these two top pieces so I have a flat edge. I need to take out one more. There we go. Because I didn't move this, I continued to hold it. I'm going to raise the ribbon up. And I am just going to hot glue straight across and straight down, across and straight down. For this one, I am putting hot glue in the center because I'm not putting a snap there. And you're just going to mash it down. You're going to feel the heat through this ribbon more than you did the felt, so be mindful of the heat. And now I have my little flap that's going to hold my Kamsnap. I did the bottom. You can or not, whichever way you want. This is all based on what I wanted and what I needed, but you can modify this little pocket to anything. We're going to wrap the ribbon around the back. This one was crooked. Let's see if we got this one any a little straighter. We probably didn't. And I'm going to bring the ribbon across the front. I'm going to go down to where my double piece stops and back up to where it starts, and that's where I want to cut. I needed to make sure there was a flap down here for my snap as well. So now, doesn't matter, you can adjust it however you want. Your little snap's going to be right there in the center of that little square. So now I have the same situation where I need to hot glue 3 sides, not the folded side, the other 3, leaving the center empty because I want to put my snap in the center. And you just line up the sides to keep it straight. And now I have a double piece for the snap. See how simple and easy that was? It only took me 30 minutes, and that included making a mistake and explaining to you what was going on. So now we're going to add the snap. These little snaps come in a ton of colors. They even come in glow in the dark. But you need 2 of the ones that look like nails. There's a flat side and the little pokey. You need 2 female and 2 males. I'm sorry, 1 female and 1 male. I'm used to doing 2 snaps. So you have the little nail looking thing. This one looks like a nail. This is the male version. It goes inside the female version, which is a little cup looking thing. And a nail for that side. I cannot hang on to these things. It's super early in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I decided to go ahead and make the video. Now I need my tool. Now you can get this whole set on Amazon. It's super cheap, believe it or not. It comes with the poker. It comes with the setter. It comes with a whole pack of colors. I've added more colors. This used to be each color, but these are some that I've used on repeat. So I've kind of put them in here and sectioned them out. You can get this in a bunch of different sizes that come with the colors, and you can buy the refills like crazy on Amazon. So it does not matter if you put female or male, top or bottom, it doesn't matter. I've always just winged it. The only thing that matters is what side is your smooth side. So for this ribbon, the smooth is on top, and for this ribbon, the smooth is on the bottom. That is so that my parts that click together are on the correct side. So let's start with the bottom. This is your little hole poker. It really pokes into pretty much anything. I use it a lot on leather. So the first thing we're going to do is in the center, and it happens to be right in this little polka dot. How cool is that? In this little center, we're going to poke a hole. And you're just going to run it around a few times just to get that hole defined. Before you pull it out, you're going to be ready with your nail part. And the nail part has to go smooth on the back side. So I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to stick that little nail right in the hole. And it goes in there super easy. On that nail, I'm going to take one of my pieces. Now you have two pieces that fit together. The back side is the one that's going to go on that nail. So we're going to put the back side on the nail. It's going to stick up through the center. Now I'm going to take my little plier, and they make these in different types. They make tabletop versions if you're not good at squeezing. It's not hard to squeeze, but I squeeze a lot when I go to put the snap on. Probably unnecessary. The bottom piece here is going to be your smooth side. The rubber white piece up here is going to go inside and mash that prong totally flat so that doesn't come off. So remember, your smooth side goes in the bottom, which is this black cup down here. And the top that has the little functioning snap area is in the top because this is like a silicone based. It's squishier than the black. So I'm simply going to put it in, just like a pair of pliers, into that little cup. And then I'm going to squeeze. I don't think it needs as much as I do it, but I have had these things come apart for user error. Now that prong is no longer a prong, it's totally mashed flat inside that snap, and my snap is made. So now let's do the other one. In order to line them up, pull it as snug or loose as you want, put it over it, and you're going to poke the hole right in the center of the snap you just added. And that's how you're going to know that's where I want it to go. So you're just pushing the little point into the hole. This time, before you take this out, you want to determine where your flat goes. And on this one, it goes on top because I need the mechanism to match up with this one. So this is going on top. So now I can take this out and put this in, flip it over, put the back side, the part that's not clicking into here, you want the back side, goes on the little prong. The flat side goes on the bottom black, and mine squeaks. I guess everything I have squeaks. It goes in, and then you squeeze it. And you can put it down and squeeze. It's got a flat surface on the bottom. And just like that, we have another snap added. And it snaps our pouch closed. It also provides us a little flap to open it with. What do you think, guys? Now we have a pouch and a perfect place to put our templates or anything else we want to put in a pouch for safekeeping. These templates make these shadow boxes, and if you're interested in the shadow boxes, please watch my other videos because we make a lot of them. I love making shadow boxes. There's so many uses for them. And now my tools, my little templates, are nice and secure. I also show you on a YouTube video how to make templates yourself out of cardstock. These are made with laser cut acrylic that my husband does. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out, and I hope you can find a way to use a pouch because felt crafts are so inexpensive. They're fun to make. If you want, I will find a link to the KamSnaps to one of the sets and put it in the description so that you can play with your KamSnaps today too. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you subscribe, like, make sure you comment below, and as always, happy crafting.